Okay. Necromancer's Tale. Let's try a bit of this and see what we think, John. Muck has smooth brain. He just likes Warrior Smash. Yeah. I know. Handing things with an axe is generally frowned upon in dating sims. I don't know. Wasn't there that one dating sim that, like, Dead by Daylight did or something? I feel like it might be in that one. Okay, hold on. First of all, default volume is very, very loud. So let's do this a little bit. Let's try that. Okay, play demos. This is a demo. There may be bugs. We value your opinions while improving and completing the game. All right, demos from the start. Your character's backstory, early career, and skills are chosen through an interactive... Okay, hold on. This is still too freaking loud. Hold on a second. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. All right, let's try that. Holy cow. Okay. Your character's backstory, early career, and skills are chosen through an interactive fiction. This demo offers an abbreviated version of the interactive fiction, Chapter 1, followed by Homecoming, Chapter 2, and Spellbook, Chapter 3, which deals with the events and intrigue after you arrive home for your father's funeral and begin to investigate an ancient spellbook which has come into your possession. I'm trying to think what would be more fair, to play it from the start or jump into a dungeon crawl. I mean, I guess from the start. Okay. Choose difficulty, story mode, balance, or strategy. Choose this if you enjoy narrative adventure as well as turn-based combats. Choose if you enjoy narrative combat, extra challenge. Let's just start with balance for now for the first look. Chapter 1 Prologue. See the graveyard in the top right.
In the year of our Lord, 1700.
Oh, I thought that was a loading screen.
The Republic of Venice went to war with the sovereign monarchy of Ralston. This war was over passage rights through the Adriatic Sea, though this point will rarely be brought up when the war is discussed by future historians.
Do I click?
It was, like most wars, overstretched and too costly. Neither side could afford it, nor would they back down. Many lives were lost, and whatever the outcome, each nation would nurse its wounds for some time. The war raged on for 6 years, draining both countries' resources, but the Republic of Venice was older than Ralston and had deeper pockets. In a war of attrition, they would win, and both sides knew it. 3 generals from Ralston, 2 brothers and a close friend, came together to strategize, and came up with nothing. They would not win this war. In desperation, one reached out to a dark power and was told to make pilgrimage to Golgotha. With no other avenue, they spent 1 month sailing to the walls of Jerusalem, where they docked under cover of darkness. On the hill where the man named Jesus died, they met a figure.
Wow, okay.
Too old to identify.
I was thinking this was a fantasy land, and then he said Jerusalem and Jesus. I'm like, wait, this is Earth.
An already ancient thing made of pale leathers and filled with symbols that hurt their eyes to look upon. The thing smiled as they took it, a smile made of too many teeth. Full of dread for what they had seen.
They said Venice.
What they were about
I missed that
to
part.
They sailed for another month to get home.
I mean, it's about necromancy.
Things had gone badly in the time they were away. Soon they would have to surrender, and Ralston would fall into decline, one it was unlikely to survive. Whatever doubt the men had about using the knowledge in that book, their mind was set now. They cast its pages open and chanted dark incantations. And lo, did the dead walk upon the earth.
I don't know what you are playing, but hope you are doing well, man.
Hey CJ, what's up, dude? Thank you for the Prime. Steam Next Fest is going on, and they have a bunch of like up-and-coming games that are coming out soon, and you can play demos for like dozens of different games for free. So we're just trying like basically the first hour of a bunch of different games to see if we like what's coming out. Well, I say a bunch. There's dozens and dozens and dozens, but I just picked some that I thought looked cool. If you go here on Steam, if you're interested, and there's just an absolute ton of them, and I downloaded some, and this particular one is called The Necromancer's Tale.
Undead sailors hauled themselves into the Venetian boats. Soldiers dragged themselves from battlefields and clawed up from shallow graves to drive the Venetians from the land. The war was won. The Venetians could not fight Ralston's impossible numbers. They surrendered, the book was shut, and the dead were dead once more. The book was destroyed, but the world had noticed. Ralston.
Why did they destroy the book?
Magic.
What if they get attacked again in 2
No
seconds?
shame in using it. Many enemies, without and within, were born that day, 1711. 3 years later, a child was born to one of the generals involved in unleashing the spell.
I'm a beautiful baby boy.
A beautiful baby boy.
Mukluk. He had weird parents. The night you were born, a blood moon hung in the sky, or there was a storm the night you were born, one that came from nowhere, a ship was caught in it, doomed to be dragged to the ocean floor below, or a comet passed overhead that night, one that cycled purple and green. I don't know. Blood moon?
The night you were born, a blood moon hung. Shepherds took their flocks in, and old women lit candles in windows to ward off such.
That gave me
ill
Constitution,
omen.
knowledge, and Analyze.
You were born into wealth
Abbreviated
and
for demo.
status, and had all you could wish for. But your parents never had another child, and your father was often preoccupied with his work. Your mother, distant, sickly and delirious, you heard another mother say. Hoffman, the family steward, raised you more than they. It was 17.
It was a lonely childhood. I didn't know that was going to turn that fast.
Years old. You play with friends from school, 2 poorer boys, Diedrich and Flip. Your father disapproves. You play in the graveyard outside the city. Nobody goes there without an armed guard. But children do not care for such things. Children are small and fast, and can outrun ghoul.
Ghoul? Like
At least
undead
when
ghoul?
the sun is up. One day, as you play, you hear a rustling coming from some trees. You all freeze. Then a stone whizzes out of the green and hits you on the head. You stare
What a rude
in
ghoul.
disbelief. A slow trickle of blood running down your face, partially blocking sight from your left eye.
Wait, you pick your bully? Okay, a guy 10 years older than me, a girl, or a group of children from the city. I think there's me and my 2 boys, right? I think we got the strongest chance against a girl, even if she is throwing rocks.
You scan the tree line and spot Sophia, a girl you recognize from school. She throws another stone at you, but you are ready and avoid it.
Stay still! I need you to bleed enough for a ghoul to sniff you out.
She calls out.
I want to see them hunt.
Have you played Tormented Souls, Muck? If you have, they have a Tormented Souls 2 coming out this year. I have not played that, no. I'll have to look at it. You pick up a stick, and when she flings, next flings... Okay, so wait, are these choices going to give me stats again? So this might be dexterity. This might be, like, trying to lie to someone. I don't know. Let's try this.
You'd want to be careful up there.
Convince +1. Yep,
My
okay.
father says they hide in trees during the day to grab up any fools looking for a spot of shade.
In a panic, she dropped her stones and looked in the branches around her.
You're lying!
As soon as she said it, there was a screeching from another tree near her, and the branches moved.
One has caught your scent. You're done for now.
You called.
Rubbish.
She froze. The smile on your face dropped.
Why aren't you running? It's gonna get you!
She didn't move. The rustling and screeching grew nearer.
Oh, so we were like all confident because kids can outrun ghouls during the day, but she's freezing up.
Run, Sophia! Run!
You screamed, hurting your lungs. Once she saw your worry, the colour drained from her face. She dropped down from the tree and ran crying back to the dead man's gate.
Hurting your lungs is certainly a line.
That's when Flip dropped from the second tree. She had been too busy throwing stones at you.
It was one of
to
your
see him
bros.
sneaking towards her.
Oh my
You,
god.
he,
Dude, we were
and
like
Dietrich
genuinely
had a
scared for her.
good laugh and returned soon to play. When you saw her next, she had realized the trick you'd played on her. She found it funny.
Bull crap, she would have found it
Soon
funny.
she began joining you and Flip and Dietrich in the graveyard, and fast became your fourth. That night, you wake suddenly to find an old woman sitting at the end of your bed, whispering to herself.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's?
Where is my beautiful boy? She looks around the room. I'm coming to you, to find you. Then she looks at you. Where her eyes should be are dark holes, not fleshy wounds, but an absence of anything. An endless blackness that hurts to look at. She looks at you. Are you him? Are you my baby? She begins to crawl up the bed towards you. Come to me, baby. Come, let me hold you in my arms. As you hide under the sheets, you feel pressure on the bed as she approaches. My baby, my sweet babe. Her hands, cold and bony, wrap around your own as they hold the sheet tight to your face. They gently but easily pull your hands from your face, removing your thin cotton defenses. Wake up, baby. Your mother's voice. You slowly open your eyes and see her standing there, smiling down at you. You were having a dream. I could hear you from my room. Come here. You dive forward and she wraps her arms around you, warm and fleshy and
Oh, hang on.
alive. That night, you sleep in her bed for the last time. 1721. One morning, your mother comes to your school. She takes you out, even though classes are not finished. She says everything is okay, but you do not believe her.
Her mannerisms tip you off?
Her mannerisms tip you off.
Analyze.
She is normally so distant, but today is very close. Holding hands and hugging you, kissing your cheek even. She brings you around the town. First you stop to buy sugared apples. Then she takes you shopping. New clothes, new books, new toys.
Dude, is she gonna take me to the vet and have me put down after this?
She brings you to the castle and, with some whispered words and coins exchanged, the guard lets you into the grounds. You go to the pond and throw bread and watch fish pop their heads up to steal from the ducks. You walk the city walls and the two of you take in the view. The sea to the west, the hills to the south, the forest to the east and north, and beyond the northern tree line, the road that leads to the capital. That, she tells you through teary eyes, is where you're going. You won't understand until you're older. Maybe not even then. You need more than I can give you. More than I can be.
Three Cat says if you like survival horror, you'll like the early Resident Evils. I have played 2, 4, 7, and 8, I think, which are all on Mukluk Plays if you want to see me suffer through those.
You protest.
The others I haven't played.
She cries. When she stops crying, she doesn't remember where you are, how you got there. A watchman brings you home. There your father glares at you, angry that you upset your mother, angry at your non-compliance. Hoffman brings you to your room to help you put your new clothes and books and toys into your new trunk. He tells you that she loves you, that this is for the best. A few days later, your carriage rides out of town. In your children's stories, events like this happen on rainy days, but today is sunny and clear-skied. As the carriage crests a hill, you can look back towards the city and see it all. The farms, the walls, the groves, the castle, the seas. Your home. How do you feel as you are taken away?
2.
I hurt. A deep wound of betrayal.
Analyze, impress, and convince.
My parents are supposed to look after me, not discard me. 1722. A year has passed. More quickly than you might have expected. Winter's first snow falls lightly outside. You watch from your dorm and reflect on your time here.
Fights, probably strength. Library. Hey, friends. So right now my top 6 stats are pretty low. This will probably increase knowledge. You're thankful for the library here. Books have been your salvation.
You are thankful
Yeah.
for the library. You look at the collection of books scattered around you now.
Impress
Buried
-1.
under them are the books your mother bought you over a year ago. You have read them many times. 1725. Your schooling is done now. Your time here is over. You spent much of this year deciding
I got a
what
Steam
to do
message from a
next.
guy who's like, hey, I said put on the hat. I was focused, okay? Let's see. Saw something you. Sorry. This
One
one.
of your professors said she saw
Trust
something
Gentry.
in you. A spark that would see you well in the world of courtly intrigue. This sounds exciting to you, and well paid too. So they put you in touch with a contact of theirs to begin your training. 1727.
Okay, so it
You
said
are
it just
nearly
skipped a
2
chunk because of the
years
demo.
into your training now, and it goes largely as expected. Your mentor, an older lady,
Okay,
named
all right.
Valentina
I'm gonna
Zapata,
hit quick set here.
takes you to the Scottish
Rather than
courts
defining your character
to
through
watch
interactive
the
fiction, you
burning
quick
of a
set your
witch.
skills instead. Yeah, let's do this.
The woman is accused
Okay.
of fornication with the devil, but Valentina says that the only crime this woman, and women burned like her, committed was striving for knowledge, studying the natural world, and trying to
Oh my
understand
gosh,
it.
stop talking.
Valentina wants you to see
Skill
how
points
other
remaining
countries
3.
treat people who they cannot understand, how they treat knowledge they cannot fathom.
Okay, so the reason I did that is because it's already skipped 2 large chunks because of the demo. And if we do want to play this full game in the future, I don't want to spoil everything. And also, limited amount of time. So let's see the actual gameplay. So, the final thing is the year 1733. You are Lord Mukluk van Elstrick, a minor noble of the city of Marnes in the sovereign monarchy of Rulsthen on the Adriatic coast. At the age of 21, you've begun a promising career in the military. Having just received news of your father's death, you hurry home. 1 hour from the north gate of Marnes, my coach had been climbing a steep hill surrounded on all sides by oaks before the great forest gave way to farmland. There we saw a young woman accosted by 2 brigands. My coachman
Should
called
we
to me.
stop, sir?
Yes, at once. Our coach pulled to a stop. So, I get out of it. Now, is she working with him? Or is she actually getting accosted? Hey there, good man. What has this young woman done to draw your attention?
This woman is a trickster. Don't let her appearance deceive you.
Her appearance is that she got no pants. The woman looked at him with disdain, but
I'm
not
not
fear.
afraid of you.
The men advanced with their spears trained on her. Attempt to bargain with them. You're making a skill check. It's Analyze level 2. This means you need 2 levels of Analyze to pass it. If your skill is less than 2, you can spend points from your skill pool to make up the balance. Your skill pool refills at the start of each chapter. Spend 0 skill points, ask them to reconsider. The 2 men turned their spears toward me, and my coachman leaped down with his sword drawn. Combat. To the left of the screen are the portraits of your main characters and allies. Characters take turns in sequence. To the right of the screen are the enemy's portraits. Click on a portrait to zoom the camera on that character. Okay. Each portrait has a health bar and a circled number showing action points. Action points, or APs, are used to move, attack, reload, equip weapons, and cast spells. Okay, so similar to Divinity Original Sin 2. In addition, your own character has a number inside a star shape. This shows their magic points for casting spells. Where is that? Each portrait has a health bar and a circle and action. Okay, so 5. I don't see the star. Maybe it's just because I don't have spells. Click on the terrain to move your active character toward that spot. The hexagonal tiles light up to show you the route's been taken. It costs 1 AP per tile moved. Click on an enemy character to attack the active character. You must be close enough to them to strike and have enough action points left. Melee weapons, swords, and halberds have a range of 1 or 2 hexes. Missile weapons, crossbows, and muskets can fire further. However, they can be slow to reload. The end turn button finishes the current active character's turn. Mortal characters carry up to 3 unused action points the next combat round. You can open inventory and double-click a weapon to equip it. More detailed control. Open both characters' sheet and inventory and drag items between the slots. Okay, so I just used an action to equip that sword. I think I equipped that sword. Alright. I guess that's it. I guess he's out of action points. Okay. Okay, I guess it's just Muck's turn right now. Ow. Yeah, now they both stab me in the face. Those men turned and fled. The fight was not going their way. Okay.
Thank you for
We let them go.
me. I know you. You are the son of Zelig.
She shrugged, smiled sweetly, and straightened the garland in her hair. I nodded. She seemed about my age, but I did not recall her face from the past. Alright, be safe then. I must be away. My father's funeral awaits.
I am sorry. It is a sad day, and Lord Zelig was a good man.
I climbed back into my coach and glanced out to wave farewell, but in the place of the young woman stood an old hag watching me. The shadows seemed to draw in around her, leaving her face indistinct.
Viserek dead the wolves are circling. The House of Van Eerstrik may have an important part in the future of the kingdom. Do not presume to know who your friends and enemies are.
That's pretty.
Whoa there.
The carriage came to a sudden stop, which jolted me awake. I had thought that on my return home after so many years that I would watch it all, rising up over the hills to see Marnes, entering the gates, the ride to my family's home, but I had been traveling for 3 days now, and I had clearly been too tired to stay awake despite my strange encounter in the northern forest. Still, I was home. Perhaps it was unkind of me, but when I stepped out, I was surprised to be greeted by Hulfman. I expected him to be long retired by now. Despite his age, he stood tall as he
Welcome
greeted
home,
me.
my lord. I trust your journey was a pleasant one.
As best as one could expect, given the circumstances. The old man said nothing, and there was no expression on his face. He just nodded slightly, as indecipherable as I recalled. Nothing about this exchange gave away how close he had been to my father, raising him after grandfather's death, tutoring him, following him to war, even minding my mother in recent years. If he was hurting from the death, and I knew he was, he hid it well. I must have been staring for too long because he cut the silence.
If sir wishes to go inside, I shall follow along with the luggage.
I nodded and left him be. Okay. Alright, so... we're still not a necromancer. I guess that happens later on. So this is a turn-based game. I want to go, let's see, quit to the main menu. I want to try play demo, dungeon crawl. Delving into a dungeon, here you have some reanimated skeletons and zombies under your control in addition to your own character. Sure. Let's see this. Alright, so this is what the game looks like later on. So, you can, I guess, order? Let's see, equip? Alright, so you can click on any skeleton and, like, order them to do things, I guess? Or, like, pick that up. To the left of the screen are the portraits of the main character and your allies. Characters take turns in sequence. To the right of the screen are enemies' portraits. Click on a portrait to zoom the camera on them. Okay, so there's 3 goblin-like creatures here. Alright, and what do we have here? Activate minion. Attempt to take control of an undead minion that has not been activated already this turn. Click on the minion to choose them. Control passes back to your main character when you click end turn for the minion. What? Can they... huh? Failed. Okay. Well, I'm out of action points, I guess. What are the other spells? Death Focus, Chilling Mist. Alright, end turn. And now I get stabbed in the back. How's it going? Hello, Carita. Getting my butt kicked right now. I love the hat. Thank you. Why is it his turn again? And why is it not the zombies' turns? No, that's not what I wanted to do. I tried to click on them. So, do I have to hit act? Failed again. Okay, so that's twice in a row that activate minion failed, and they're not getting a turn yet. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna die. I do not get how to actually operate the undead. So I've got 5 minions here, and they're all just gonna watch me get murdered by goblins. Maybe you look at the rest of the combat tips. We already read up until here with the earlier thing. If you have undead minions and some magical ability, you can activate and move a minion by casting Activate Minion. Yeah, but it's failed twice. Control passes back to your main character when you click end turn of the minion. After firing a missile, yeah, but it failed twice. 2 turns in a row, Activate Minion has failed. Okay, again, so that's 3 turns in a row. It had a 74% chance of working, and all 3 turns it failed. If you have undead minions in your control and some, like, is this like XCOM? Except it's like you have a 74% chance of getting a turn. If you have undead minions in your control and magical ability, you can activate. Yeah, that failed 3 times in a row. After firing a missile weapon, you need to reload it. During combat, your camera can move freely with the arrow keys or joystick and controller. Okay. So there's no attacks of opportunity. And now we're dead. You have died. Okay. Well, that was terrible. Alright, so they kind of follow you. Alright, so when combat started, I was in the middle of clicking the mouse. And so it spent all my action points of my first turn moving, and I wasn't even ready for the fight to begin yet. Alright. Close this. Let them come closer. Just gonna try this again. Alright, what do we got here?